My wife and I do something together. This is a piece of spalted ash, and she did a little weaving on the top to dress it up a little. This piece, I didn't know which side to have up to show. So I thought, well, I'll just cut a hole all the way through and make a little pedestal so it can sit this way, and then now it has a bottom, or the other way.
Now, Terry,
So it's just,
Gordy, tell the truth. You actually went through the bottom, and you just tried to figure out how to make it work.
it was planned, but I was concerned about expanding the chuck on this hole on one side when I cut the other hole to get them both the same size. And I damaged it a little bit, expanding the chuck. One of these fit better than the other. Oh, on the big disc here, on the flying saucer.
I had some bushes along my retaining wall that were there for 20 years. They were hedge of yews. So I dug out all the stumps and put a garden in. But if you were selling your pieces, by the time you figured, it probably took me 3 hours to dig out a stump. And then the turning, so forget making money on it.
You can tell us how you hollowed that, Roger?
Yeah. Easy. And then these were just some boxes that I did. This is myrtle.
That's cool.
And this is hopcorn bean. What's that gentlemen? What? Popcorn bean? Popcorn bean.
I haven't run out of maple burl yet. These three objects I finished recently. I'm putting my lathe away until next winter. All three of these we're leaving next week to go visit my son in Washington, D.C., and these are all presents to him. This is the last thing I did. I got tired after the first two. I had a piece big enough to make something out of. This one, when I started, I wanted to make a natural edge, and I had no idea what shape it was going to take, but I kind of liked it. Shape it ended up. Last month I had a piece of wood in here I asked you to help me to identify, and we decided it was koa. We knew it came from the Pacific somewhere. And this is one of the biggest things I've turned from the burl so far. But I think I was third in line to get this wood after the powder post beetles, some type of giant wasp bored some holes, mostly just in the upper 2 inches or so of the burl. So little epoxy, we now have windows in it, and you can see light through it.
Call it a religious bowl. Very holy.
Very cool. Some people ask me what type of finish. It's all general finishes. Coat of Sealocel to kind of seal it off and darken the wood a little bit. And then 3 coats of Armor Seal, oil urethane, wipe on varnish.
Next.
I've been pretty prolific because I haven't been working in the past month.
That's too bad.
Yeah. The little lamp I made, it's inspired out of a cup that I seen that Terry had made, which was very dainty, and it got too dainty and ended up breaking. But I thought the concept was neat to have the, the bag that's coming out of the base of it. It's cherry and ash, kiln dried that I got from Rick's guy up near Beloit. Cherry and walnut. Platter that Rick and Terry both helped me cut into 45s. But this was kind of thick, and I want to prove to myself I can do thinner, so I tried to make a very thin platter. And these three are from Rick. After the first meeting, when I said I couldn't find them, he gave me some walnut. And these are 2 months out of the branch. This is all alcohol dried. I've been having great success with it. It's supposed to cover the bottom of the bowls with butcher block. The theory is that if it dries on the inside, that it compacts the outside of the grain to the point when it dries on the outside, it doesn't crack and chip. But I've just been setting them out in the air, and I haven't had any problems with checking like I do. If I turn a piece of wood and leave it on a lathe overnight, it'll check real bad. So I know what bad checking can do to it, but this alcohol has been real stable. I've got 15 or 20 bowls now going through the alcohol process. Box elder I can get dry at 6% water within 7 days, and the walnut's been taking about 3 weeks to come down to 6%. But all it is taking your bowl, submerging it in alcohol, and you have to have a lid over it, that denatured alcohol. It's only called denatured alcohol because they add chemicals to it so people won't drink it, which if they didn't do that, then there's all kinds of taxes on drinkable alcohol. So they just wreck it so you can pay a better price for it. But you put that in a giant vat and dunk your bowls in it for 24 hours, pull them out and dry them like you normally would.
That's what they sell cheesecloth for.
Take it out. They talk online about the different, after you use it so often, it gets watered down, but the second you take the lid off, it evaporates, and every time you take a bowl out, you're taking it with it. So you're replacing the alcohol enough that you don't have to worry about the water content and stuff. You'll just notice it.
Where do you buy alcohol in bulk like that?
Any place. I got mine in bowls. It comes in the square cans like the kerosene. Right next to the kerosene, you'll see denatured alcohol. But it hasn't. Now the one guy online, he does one vat for light colored woods and one for dark colored woods, but I've been putting mine through both, and I haven't seen a bad effect on the lighter colored woods being darkened by used.
So you just put it in for 24 hours and take it out,
Yeah.
dry it.
Yeah.
21 days later, it's
Yeah.
dry.
Except box elder, man, that dries so quick because it's so coarse. But that originally was a mistake. I cut my bowl bigger than the blank should have been, so I just kept going and kept the bark on it. Turned out nice. I had some poly on it. A little ball of it. A lot of this was from help from Terry, though, helped me get the tools right. I finished it down, and even in this case, even using this lathe to turn the bottom of my bowl. But I'm getting a lot of resources at the club, and that's what they said online. If you're getting into turning, join the club, and you'll get the resources. But I appreciate everything that's been going so far.
Thank you.
Cherry, a little burl back in there. When I started to turn it, it was dry, but very cracked. I spent about as much time putting black epoxy in it as I did turning. But it wasn't this is not the shape I wanted. The chunks came off of this thing. They were so cracked and so forth. So I adapted as I went along. There it is.
Beautiful grain.
Well, this little guy here, it's the first time turning, I tried cutting some square pine into round dowels and kind of played with the tools. And I got an idea for an acorn, and then I went over to Bruce's so he could teach me what not to do so you don't get hurt. And he showed me a lot of stuff. And so we hauled out that bowl, and I thought, well, that'd be kind of neat to do. So that's what I did. So you can hide stuff in it. It's pretty cool.
Make sure you bring stuff every day.
Yeah.
Get a bigger one.
This was black cherry and walnut. And when I cut it, it bit really tight. And it's been, as it's dried out, it's been getting looser and looser.
Never happened to me.
But that's what happened. It was pretty cool.
I want to compliment Stephen particularly because he is an absolute beginner and he's not, and I want all of you absolute beginners to feel free to bring your stuff. Don't be intimidated. Just because we have some fabulously talented people in this book doesn't mean you shouldn't be bringing your stuff and show and tell. Speaking of fabulously talented.
Where? Nobody I know.
Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah. The funny part about this is box elder burl, and the kind of fun part about this is that it demonstrates how nitpicky customers can be. There was a guy who was all set to buy this, but he didn't like the epoxy fix on the bottom, so he didn't want to buy it because it had an epoxy repair on the bottom. So that's how nitpicky customers can be. Anyway, so that's that.